Now, this is the
Henderson
thing. Oh,
just passes it straight up. And there we go. All right. Thiago to Van Dijk. City still pressing up pretty high up the pitch. Here's Mane. There's no substitutions from either teams yet. Which means that at least Liverpool come out with a pretty stern talking to for all 11.
Oh,
It's a long ball. Here it comes to Henderson.
this is what I was saying.
well,
Here's Salah. Passes it off to Mane. What a
it's a
ball
great
from
goal, but it's really
what a
horrible
ball
defending.
from the outside.
Yeah, I don't know if that's Stones or if that's Walker, but whoever was playing him onside, really poor.
This is
think
legit
that's
what I was
Walker.
saying about Mane. Just he'll naturally move into that position. You
Yeah.
don't need to force feed him.
That
He'll
ball's
figure
all,
it out.
that run is always there. Yep, that's Stones
Textbook
playing
finish.
him onside.
Textbook finish. Beautiful. Like good goal.
Like, it's
That's a great goal.
the football was spectacular, by the way. Like the build up, the balls, everything. It was
But dude,
really,
this
really
is.
good.
I said this in the first half, guys. I said this in the first half. A few passes together, they've not been able to handle it. We've just not played a few passes together up until now, and here you go. That's a big way to start the half for Liverpool. That's massive.
It is. It is. It's the ideal start.
Now City, whatever instructions they got at halftime are null and void.
Not necessarily. I do think
I wouldn't go that far, but yes, there at least 5 out of the 10 minutes has been wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I told you guys they're gonna make a comeback. Wait for the Salah goal as well. 1 goal, 1 assist this game, and then wins PFA Player of the Year but loses the league. It's gonna be
yeah,
an
but
interesting summer.
you kind of knew that Liverpool would not let this game go. Like they get to halftime, like
Bro, you know how much I fucking hate you. When you said that shit, I know where I am on your screen because every time you said some bullshit, you looked right at me, you piece of shit. I know I'm on your bottom right, you little cunt. You're on my bottom right too. So suck it. I fucking see
What?
you, Neeraj.
I got Omar on my bottom right. What the hell?
listen, Niraj, you're a really brave man for wanting to join this stream of all streams. Like,
Yeah,
I-
I was
all the
very
trolling that you've
interested.
done for years and years, like the balls to move from
He's
text
enjoying
message to
this so
video.
much, bro.
I
He's
see
enjoying
YouTube.
this so much.
I
The
salute-
only reason I joined is because Omar said, Gor's so nervous. I was so excited. I was like, let's do this.
I'm so nervous, bro. I'm like I if I didn't have these beers, I wouldn't be able to make it through this. My heart rate wouldn't be able to fucking survive it.
But who do you think got shouted at more? Like us, but
I
Such a good attempt. That's unlucky.
Welcome to live streams, Miraj. Welcome to live streams.
That's
Thanks.
just unlucky, bro. That's just unlucky.
This game is really fast, though. Honestly,
Yeah. The second
this
half-
game.
He does really well to get it on target and to try
I
to
don't
play
even-
the hard corner. All right,
okay,
go on
just to
here.
know which minute are you guys on? I think Liverpool still win it, though I don't know
I'm
what's going on
from,
in the next
I'm
minute.
from the view, if you're hot and you don't score, you're not going to score. So if Liverpool, for me, don't score in the next 10 minutes, I think City wins. I really, I'm from this weird, superstitious school. You need to strike while you're hot. Like those two
Man.
back-to-back chances, against teams like City, you don't get that very often. Maybe you do, I don't know, but you need to convert one of them.
Can I just say, everything you're saying makes so much football sense, like real world football sense, but it sounds so much like FIFA 20 algorithm bullshit, where I'm just like, this guy is smart from the same video games that I've played. Like, it's the fucking scripting in those games, bro. You need to get a shot on target after you're scored on, otherwise you cannot win the game. Like,
No,
I don't
because
think Madden sounds like that, FYI.
I don't see Liverpool this like what's happening now. Once you
Yeah.
get City back in, they are very good at doing this passing left, right, moving forward though. At the same time, they're always moving forward,
Yeah.
but they can keep the ball really well. And if you don't score in the possession you do get, it's hard enough getting possession against them. Getting meaningful possession that converts,
Yeah.
especially when you put two in the back. Mind you, again, it was the ideal start, but I don't know. I don't know.
I'm with you, Majid. I agree with you on that, but I think this Liverpool team has shown time and time again that they can just produce something out of nothing. So I think there's that factor, the X factor we miss.
And having said that, Pep himself looks very nervous. For as much as I was talking about, like the Liverpool team looked nervous in the first half, Pep looks more and more nervous in the second half.
Yeah.
I think Pep always looks nervous against Klopp. I think Klopp is the only manager who's ever made him feel nervous, except probably for Ole, who's got the best record against him. Um, so
Olean, man, Olean.
um,
Listen, I honestly think Ole is going to be back at Newcastle in like 3 years.
I
Rebuild job.
Bro,
We
you
could,
have
are you
very,
still doing
very
Jose?
low
Are you
expectations
still
for
doing Jose
Newcastle and their Saudi
Arsenal?
owners, bro.
Are we still
Dude,
doing
Saudi
Jose
needs to go from 10th to 8th, right? So Ole is going to come in, like counter-attacking football. That's what it's all about.
no, yo, seriously, if United hired Ole as CMO, Chief Morale Officer, honestly,
Chief Morale Officer? I love it.
Ragnick comes in, he's too dry for the boys.
Ah,
He's
yeah.
too
I
German.
agree.
He's
I agree.
too
He's too German.
Oh,
matter
oh
of
my
fact.
God.
Pass the ball and score.
Only United make up
One of the
positions to
greatest
hire
things I
former
read
players.
about Ranieri.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, someone, for pointing out that only United make up these fucking positions. Okay.
So by the way,
And
I
it's
just
so
want to
good,
say,
Gaurav, because our fans are considering it as a legit tactic. Like,
no,
let's
Yo,
let's
yo,
have a
bro,
chief
like
morale
sometimes
officer
the
paying
players
$10
need
million.
motivation, you know?
there was a quote by Ranieri which was never talked about enough. Right before the Atletico game, the second leg, some journalist asked him that you guys can win the Champions League. He's like, this is just the greatest thing about this club, right? 1 minute I think this is the worst team I have ever coached, and the next you are talking about us winning the Champions League.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, I
said
saw
this
that.
to a journalist, and it was not talked about enough. I read that comment right at the end of a Guardian article. I was like, what did he say? Like, you know?
I love it. I love his style, but I don't think football players would appreciate that dryness,
Yeah.
that state of like fact stating.
Like, and I'm gonna say this with all my bias intact. Your players constantly look like they have a terrible fucking attitude.
I'll say this with full context, though. I think the statement Omar just said was fully applicable to Liverpool for like 20 years, and we're going through that
Yeah,
phase.
yeah,
So it is what it is, and we suck right now, but we can beat any team, and hence we're gonna beat you guys in 2 weeks, and that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna see
yeah.
you're gonna see a Ronaldo double and be like, how did this old man score against us? Like he doesn't run. I don't understand how did he score.
One
What's gonna
final
happen?
masterclass, one final like, hey, Anfield, remember me.
Yeah. You know that whole thing, oh, he doesn't score in big games, comes back, scores three against Tottenham, then scores a double against. And I'm pretty sure if he started the City game, he would have scored against them. He almost did in that game as well when we were getting thrashed. So, yeah.
I
He needs a couple of
admire
dude. He only
I
needs a
admire your optimism, unbridled optimism.
Listen, it's
Uh,
football. You got to believe. Other
last 3 minutes, City are like slowly getting into left, right, a little diagonal. They keep pushing up. They didn't do the pass before the pass. They missed that, but this kind of shit.
yeah.
Having said
Yeah.
that, yes, your guys' points are absolutely with the three arrows. This Salah, Mane, and Jota. Anything can happen at any moment on the counter end.
Yeah.
Like, not this.
But they are playing in that way where Raheem Sterling's going to score a 2 yarder, like tap in. It's
Has
getting a bit
Raheem
fluid.
Sterling ever scored against Liverpool?
I think he has a few times.
I think he has.
He's assisted a goal I remember in the Champions League away leg. I don't remember him actually scoring at Anfield. Maybe he scored at the Etihad, but
Yeah,
he's
I think
never
he scored
scored.
Raheem Sterling though, it's such a bizarre career. Like it went from like being like England's version to Messi to becoming like, in all good senses, becoming like Pedro. Like he's
Yeah,
just there for the runs and tap-ins. Like it's quite
yeah.
interesting how that's happened.
That's what Guardiola does. He makes you the most efficient fucking
Version
epitome
of
of your
yourself, yeah.
talent. Yeah, like the most efficient perspective and point of your talent. He accentuates those abilities, and then the rest of it
Oh,
should have scored.
Oh my
that
God, what's gonna
should have
happen?
been a goal, and that's a great block from Van Dijk. That's a great block from Van Dijk. City came so close to a third, and you feel like Liverpool are going to make some changes here.
Oh, Thiago with a skulls like tackle on De Bruyne. He
I feel
really
like
is.
Diaz needs to come on.
He
Yeah,
really
I
is.
feel like you're going to see Bobby actually before you see Diaz, because I feel like right now we need an extra man in midfield to start to hold on to possession and look for a third.
Oh, what a tackle!
I get this.
I love watching your reactions to this. Because these fuckers are just waiting for me to lose. They don't even care. You seem to like actually give a shit about the game.
Oh,
Well, who is he talking about? I've heard
You,
He's
Omar,
talking about
you.
you. You clearly, me, I'm still fair and balanced, like Fox
Yeah,
News,
I
bro.
imagine I
fair
included
and
you
balanced.
just for the
Is that
sake of it.
CNN or Fox News? Fair and balanced. Which
I
one is
did
that?
that
What
just
have
for
I
like
said?
yeah.
What
Just
have
that
I
was a
said?
comedy spin. I didn't mean that. Magic's cool. Fuck you.
Besides talking shit about
Omar.
You are clearly, I mean, a raging. Yeah, Mister. Who me? Who me?
Who me? Yeah, you and the shit colored hoodie.
I mean, listen, coming from a guy with zero fashion sense, I died.
Yeah,
Really
dude.
fast.
Oh,
But like,
Rico,
Right.
what were you saying, Miraj? What Juan Basaka?
That Van Bissaka was being talked up in the same breath as I feel like Van Bissaka could be the next Kyle Walker, but the Kyle Walker of City, which is a contained, non-attacking, cover the counter attacks kind of Kyle Walker, rather than charging down the wing and crossing the ball in or laying the balls down for players. So maybe he needs to start as a third centre back for England in a couple of years. I don't know.
I think he's got
Ramasaka could be a
to
center back.
improve on his game before he can do that. Given this season,
He, yeah, as all United players, but I think that it's just interesting that him and Shaw are in the same team, and we struggle with wing play a lot. And given that they were meant to be the our saviors, they've been quite kind of average, and they both sort of suit that third center back sort of setup. So I don't know. Let's see. Maybe in 2 years we'll have Shaw and Van Bissaka playing center back, third center backs for United next to Varane and Harry Maguire in midfield.
well, I really actually want to pick your guys' brain on the Eric Ten Hag conversation, but I will do that in a bit. Because right now I feel like City are gaining some possession. They're controlling the game really well, and my boys need my boys need me.
Yeah, of course. I feel you.
Um, Liverpool with literally everyone in City's half, but not pressing that aggressively right now.
Yeah,
We're just
Jota is kind of looking by himself. I feel like he's going to tire out soon.
well, Jota knows he's coming off for Bobby. Our timing,
Yeah, yeah, for sure in the UK for sure.
yeah.
Why do you think Grav is so confident?
Oh,
This is away.
No, bro, I've got 2 billion people right now around the world cheering for Mohamed Salah, regardless of whether or not they're Liverpool fans. I think I'm good. We've got a chance.
man. This is the kind of game. This is what the game plan should have been after they went one up, or two up.
Huge.
City. I don't know what
And
they've been doing.
here's Salah. Oh, still keeps the ball in.
So after this next
Trent
move,
first time, and it's
This
cleared
is
out.
the come on.
you see, this is my biggest
Oh,
problem with him as a player. I think that when he goes one on one with players, I don't see him doing anything. Like he scored 4 goals at the Euros. He scored 4 goals at the Euros, and everybody was eulogizing against him. And my dad calls me, and he's not even a football fan. He's like, "Who's this Sterling guy? He just loses the ball all the time." I'm like, "I know, right?" Like, like when the moment Sterling got the ball and it's like to his feet, he has to take players on. I'm like, yeah, Van Dyke or even Arnold would be able to tackle him in his sleep. Like,
I, I think the fact that Raheem Sterling just basically
Hold on,
stopped
hold on.
running.
Did Van Dyke just like blow in his face and he felt
Yeah,
stop moving?
yeah,
he's
it's
like,
just like
yo,
Sterling was like,
Van Dyke was basically like, yo, where the fuck is your hall pass?
Seriously though, seriously.
Hey, little boy,
That was so
where do you
lame.
think you're going?
Because if it was a South American player, at least they would dummy a fall and be like, "Oh, I got fouled and I
Yeah,
couldn't run." Like he didn't do anything. He just
he's
stopped
just like,
running. So
he's just
funny.
like,
I left you to.
Guys, Van Dyke or company?
Van Dyke,
Oof, that is such a.
Van Dyke.
Van Dyke is like a Rolls Royce defender. That's how I'd class him. But like I had a lot of respect for Vincent Company,
Yeah.
especially the way he just kept getting injured and then came back and put in a top performance. Like seriously, like Company would be injured like half the season, come back for a big game and put in a 10 out of 10 performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Vincent Company. I remember when we had that little chat about City's greatest players. I voted for Company because I think you can't build any of that with. Oh,
That was so epic.
We need like a
Come there,
delay
yeah.
of like the reactions or something.
Salah! How is that not a corner? Hits the hands. It hits his fucking hands.
It hits his. It didn't hit his hands. It hit his leg.
It
It
is
hits his
side,
fucking
but
hands.
like
It,
it
it,
points
I
to
saw the
the
replay. It hit his leg, and it's clearly a goal kick.
Oh, because yeah, hitting his leg and hitting his body.
That's all right. It sounds like a 50-50 decision.
That's a clear and obvious error. That's a clear and obvious error. How is VAR not looking at that?
No, and this is what this exactly. I don't get the standard of refereeing. This is basic shit now. We're talking like schoolyard shit. This is not
That
offside
imagine.
and the first pass and the first tackle. No, this is
So
just the
honestly,
guy
Danny,
touched
do you
him.
want
So I
football
saw the
refereeing to
Champions
go to
League
like cricket
final in
levels?
2018-2019, Tottenham Liverpool, and in the third minute, Sadio Mane hits it against Sissoko's hand, and we win a penalty, and we go on to win the fucking final. The exact same thing just happened there. The ball is actually further away from the player. He has more time to react to it.
I remember absolutely every incident involving
Yeah, I do.
like
Because VAR is bullshit, and it should be remembered that it's bullshit, and it doesn't make
No,
consistent
So
decisions.
Good point.
I don't think it's bullshit. I think the bigger problem is what is the role of the referee. Like I think there's a major issue around that. If we can clarify, are they just custodians of the game on the pitch, just slow the game down when needed and calm the players down? Or the actual decision makers? Like it's just stuck in that limbo right now. It feels like in cricket, it's quite obvious. Like the umpire is quite useless, so all major decisions are
Oh, that's
handed over to the camera people, right? So it's usually the video referee who's going
good
to take.
skills on
And
this.
same in the NFL. So I don't know.
Your point is fair, but when I say referee, I don't mean the literal one guy running in the middle. I'm talking about the entire crew, including the TV refs, including their sideline judges. I don't care who's making the decision, but that basic of an error, if it hits me, it's his ball. That should be covered regardless. That's not a jurisdiction. That's doing
I
your
don't.
job. That's literally
You
you're
know,
there for that rule.
And
cricket.
to your point, Majid, I don't understand why after all the appeals, that's not even looked at.
I don't agree with that your statement there because everyone will start fucking appealing for everything like they
I
did at
know,
one point in
but
cricket.
if it's an
But
appeal for a handball in the box, I've seen that checked every time.
no, I like it was for him. It was clearly not. I just don't get how it's not a corner. I'm not talking
Yeah,
handball
for
or
me it's
anything.
a corner. It's not a handball. But regardless, I like you look at rugby, like rugby, even rugby league in the UK. They laugh at the standard of refereeing in football.
Oh yeah.
It's so seamless for them. Like there's no argument with the referee. They just respect the decision. The team captain comes up, they review a decision, and they make a decision very quickly. And more often than not, it's the right decision. Like 99% of the time. And yet,
The, the other thing I want to mention here, I understand the titles on the line and shit, but there is also something to be said. Maybe I'm too idealistic here. Maybe I'm stupid, but there is just something to be said about honesty. The guy could have raised his hand and said, "Hey, it went off of me."
That's not gonna happen. This is the highest level of sport. You gotta
I
win.
I would
Like
expect
it's.
that from cricketers, not from footballers.
I think it's when it's 1-to-1 situations. You see it in tennis games sometimes. Oh,
very
that was.
rarely
It's you wouldn't see it in a team sport. It's so hard. Like imagine the NBA. They wouldn't be like, oh, hit my hand or slapped him by mistake. Like they'd never say that.
Well, Bielsa did it a few years back. Um, was it against
Yeah,
Derby? I think it's a rare, but I think you guys are right. It's very rare to happen in a team
football.
sport. Yeah,
Yeah.
when there's a lot of different players on the pitch, managers, fans, expectations.
One of
Um,
the first things I think football needs to do to calm everything down around like refereeing decisions is just to mic the whole thing up. Like we should know
Yes,
on the mic
yes,
what's going
yes.
on.
yeah, I
And
agree with that. Garb, you mentioned that a while ago. Like that's
Yep, I said like NFL decisions, you should be able to hear exactly what the referee is hearing. You should be seeing the same camera angles, and you should be able
yeah,
to hear his communication with the video referee so that you understand what he's looking for. And then you
yeah,
can save all your criticism after the game. And
yeah.
I also think referees should have to do post match interviews for
I don't know
30
about that.
seconds. For
That's like
30
putting the
seconds.
Oscar jury on trial because some actor
Yeah,
wanted because the
yeah,
other.
no, because the difference is with these guys, they're changing over titles, they're changing over Champions League finals. Their decisions are influencing a lot. And the fact that the guy that comes on at halftime with the analysts and the pundits, or the guy that comes on after the game,
Dermot
always
Gallagher.
normally agrees with the ref,
Dermot
when
Gallagher.
we've all seen the replays and the pundits are like, yo, what are you talking about?
Dermot
When
Gallagher.
that's happening, I think what you really need to do is start saying, like, okay, if we can't get accountability from former refs, then the broadcast and the product we're offering to our public is suffering. Because the pundits are here saying that's a pen, and the ref is like, oh, that's not a pen in my mind. And the pundits are like, what the fuck are you thinking? It looks really fucking bad for the game. So have the ref come on and actually explain what the fuck he was thinking. You made a big decision. What was happening in your mind? You didn't have any big decisions to make today. What did you think about the player's behavior? Or whatever. Fucking say something. But be accountable.
I agree with the spirit of what you're saying, Grab, but I don't think it's applicable in '98 in the World Cup. Because if you're going by refs, if you're doing this standard at the Premiership, you have to then do it at the World Cup. And World Cup, we've had players lose their life, or referees in
Death
'98,
threats, yeah,
the
it
British
gets to a
public
big
against the Simeone referee and all of that. Like it becomes very, very dangerous. But that's where I just don't understand what is the standard of refereeing when the guy hit the ball out and you didn't give him a corner. This is basic.
very basic.
This is not needed. Like you don't need to.
If I was to vote on the game, I would love to hear from the referee, even if it would have been the Chelsea Barca game. The one where like it's
The
like the
Drogba one.
2008
The
semi-final.
Drogba one.
2009 semi-final was one of the
Was that the Deco goal?
that was I think
Yeah.
the Deco goal 5-4, and then they came to spank us in the final. Um, like like that goal was the starter for them really.
There is also something to be said. I don't want to get too conspiratorial over here, but there
Here we
is
go.
maybe
Here we go.
Do
I like it.
it, MJ. Let's do it.
there is a reason they don't keep this shit open, man. Like sports, professional sports is a lot more entertainment than sports. It's a lot more rigged and a lot more fixed than we would like to pretend it to be. I don't care what
MJ,
anyone says.
for your point, and 100% in agreement. I just think Vince McMahon was the first one to admit it and put it in the name.
No, that's the like that's
It
the
used to
only
be
thing
called the
that
World
he-
Wrestling Federation. He's like, fuck it, this is entertainment.
he
Let's
fully
be honest.
acknowledged. Yeah, yeah, he fully acknowledged, and I
Yeah.
think that happens a lot more in other professional sports than in 1989. There was a clip of a former referee, talking about how the mafia fixed NBA games. Tim Donaghy, the NBA ref in 2003, 2004, he
Yeah.
talked about it. We, as a public, have actively ignored these things, and there's a lot more dirty shit in football internationally than
Dude, the
any other
South Korea
sport.
game against Italy.
2002,
Yes.
for sure.
I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking about because Jason Park is awesome.
You know what I would
But
love?
on public sphere,
Oh, Fabinho with a horrible challenge.
Yeah, I just saw that. But I think what actually hurts him is the follow up when Mane runs over it. Or is that Keita? Yeah.
To be honest,
Keita.
that's Van Dijk Napoli territory.
Guys, heading into the last 10 minutes, any last minute predictions? Last 10-minute predictions?
Jack
Liverpool
Grealish,
scored a late winner.
Jack Grealish to pull up Fernando Torres, score the winner.
Bobby Firmino comes on in the last 5 minutes and scores the winner for Liverpool.
Which one is the better story?
None?
Obviously, Bobby
As
Firmino.
in none?
neither.
None?
Yeah, neither. No one cares. Like,
Obviously. Bobby.
All right, sorry, MJ. Which one is the better story for England?
Both teams taking negative 3 points, and we call it a day. We all end up.
negative 3 points.
Negative 3 points for bad behavior or some shit.
The game was too good. -3. I think there's like a bolt of a goal coming from like 25 yards from either team.
Bobby's on now.
There we go.
But Bobby doesn't kick the ball from outside the D, so we don't know what's going. He can't do that. So I think it's going to be one of the other players.
Bobby's gonna
Robertson.
do no look shot and miss.
What
Mhm.
is this like with 6 minutes to go? Why would you sub now? Why not 10 minutes ago?
The idea is to add an extra man in midfield. That's what
And
Bobby does.
and
it'll
he's
create
also
space.
and
No,
listen,
that's fine. That's okay, but why
Klopp
not?
is clearly influenced by Ole and Van de Beek. Just throw him on. 6 minutes left. No time to make an impact.
I don't know when you saw Van de Beek for 6 minutes. I never saw him for more than 2. But sure, 6 minutes.
No.
The whole season, though.
He would come out. He would come on for
Ah,
like.
are you taking combined season 6 minutes?
Yeah, combined season total 6.
This is the most bizarre thing that I just.
Yeah, he got booked for that. Allison redistributes it out. A long kick up to Diaz. Can't really get ahead on it. And City are now back with the ball, counter-attacking. What a tackle by Joel Matip. What a tackle, bro.
Solid. Yeah.
Salah with the ball now. 2 defenders on him, and he finds a way through to get a throw in.
A
Okay.
minute and a half to go.
I'm going to make this point because we talked about this in the first half about why can't we play a system that isolates Salah. I've watched a lot of Liverpool games, and we have tried to do that in certain aspects of the game for 5 minutes or 3 minutes. Salah gets doubled. a lot. Salah gets doubled a lot, and that area of the pitch becomes crowded out, so we have to switch it up. Like, everyone knows what he can do to a player one-on-one. So he gets doubled a lot. But yeah, we've got Diaz on the ball now. Liverpool.
ball.
Here's Thiago. Fabinho back on it. City win it back. And City are trying to counter here.
Yo, hats off to KDB. This match, man of the match, KDB.
And he's gone over the bar.
He should have
Oh
scored.
my God, Riyad Mahrez.
100% scored
My
there.
God, Riyad Mahrez.
KDB, exactly like you said, MJ, he's been incredible.
Is that the title?
That should have been a goal.
It should have been a goal.
Maybe he's not fasting.
Is that the title?
He should have scored.
Does this go to the last day? The point between the two teams.
He panicked.
And
He
that's
said
the
he had time.
difference.
He really did panic.
I think he had one more touch. If he took one more touch.
I don't think he had another touch in it. That's a great game of football.
Yeah, call
Wow.
it. I haven't
Wow.
seen it.
Guys, did you see that one touch by Foden to set up Kevin De Bruyne for the
Yeah. Wait, he just kind of
Yeah.
Foden.
That kid.
Foden was excellent as well, by the way. De Bruyne.
So we leave this game, lads, with the points difference exactly how it was. As I said, I still think this is going to go to the last day, man. I think it's going to go to the last day.
So we know Manchester.
Go ahead, Omar. Go ahead.
We know Manchester United are going to have a say in this title race, hands down.
Speaking of United, it's on the table. City have a 1-point lead, but if you go according to Ferguson accounting, Liverpool have a better goal difference, right? So that +1 is actually negated with that. Ferguson accounting.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Dude, that sounds more like Abu Dhabi accounting.
Inshallah, we'll carry it forward next year.
It's just like Ali, we'll figure it out next year. Yeah.
Ali, we'll just sign up a new sponsor, bro. It's fine.
It's Abu Dhabi Oil.
Cousin Mahmoud has a spare 100 mil per year.
Yeah, they're gonna get. I would love to see ADNOC. Just have ADNOC sponsored everywhere, but no one knows what ADNOC is in the UK. But it's sponsoring everything. Be quite funny.
Liverpool are very disappointed with that result. You can see in the post-match, just the way you can tell they're really disappointed.
I can say the same about City, by the way. I think both teams are very disappointed, and yet both teams played magnificently.
I think that says a lot about the attitude of these teams, dude. Nothing better than a win. Nothing less than a win is good enough. That's their standard. They need to win every game. And that was first half was so scrappy and so all over the place for Liverpool. They kind of settled into it a little bit in the second half, and then City took over again. Liverpool had some spells for the last 15 minutes. Questionable decisions refereeing wise, but it's a fair game, and I think it's a fair distribution of points on the balance as well.
A game of two halves. It really was.
Yeah.
City were up 2-1. Liverpool won the second half 1-0, if you look at it that way. City were better in the first half. Liverpool were better in the second half. They were much more confident. Liverpool seemed nervous and edgy in the first half. City seemed nervous and edgy in the second half, especially between sort of that 50 minutes to 65, 70 minutes. I do think my FIFA 20 algorithmic theory that Gaurav mentioned, you saw it in practice. If Mahrez scores that last goal, I shouted to you, bro.
You basically crystal balled it if Mahrez scores that goal.
Yeah.
I just want to say, we've heard a lot about the respect between the two managers and the pre-match interviews and the press conferences and everything. Just post-match, and I noticed this on Instagram a couple of years ago, with the Brazilian players in both squads, You just saw Jesus and Firmino walk off the pitch, have like really friendly, like touchy feely chat. Like Fabinho is very good friends with Bernardo Silva. Like there's a lot of respect between these two teams for each other. But what you saw as a game was they were ready to rip each other's heads off for those
I,
3 points. That
I don't
is,
know.
I love that from both teams. Like I have to say, I love that from both teams.
Yeah, but
I'm
I
gonna
think
push back
I
here, man.
disagree with you.
Yeah,
Why?
I think I'm gonna push back as well. I don't think the game was as full throttle as I was expecting. It was a good game. It was a very good game, but it wasn't like the best game they both have played with each other even.
Oh no, it's not.
Uh,
No.
and it's also like I just felt like there's not enough nastiness. Maybe we didn't see the midfield enough, like Majid mentioned, because the ball just kept going over. But there wasn't enough nastiness in the forwards as well. Even City's forwards, like you normally see Jesus just go for it. Sterling just stopping running. Like it's just like it's too much respect as well. Sometimes I feel like there's not as much bite. That's why the Arsenal United stuff I still feel is a better
Even
You know,
United,
rivalry because there's
Nico.
more bite in it.
Chelsea, by the way, during even United Chelsea was quite dirty at times. I mean, personally, I thought like Liverpool played well in spells. I thought City had they both had chances, but I thought City were more dominant. But that was actually just because they were at home. But like the thing is that Liverpool never ever shied away. Like when they wanted to come on, they really did actually just pressure and score when they needed to. So like
I
it,
Yeah.
yeah,
In
I
this
thought,
sense, in that sense, Omar, I think it was more a Premier League game than like
yeah,
Guardiola versus Pep. Like it was very
yeah,
much like ball over the top, keeper making mistake. Like there was like forwards missing chances. Like it was
yeah,
a proper
it,
like
it
it could have been
I
Burning
think
Newcastle just at a higher level.
yeah,
so.
but
I
it
agree
feels
with
like
you
a double
guys.
decider derby type thing. That's the feeling that I want from this game.
Yeah, but this isn't a derby. So this